Hey guys, it's Little Dove ASMR. So I've got my wig on from Everyday Wigs and it's all settled. I've got the part settled with some concealer and it looks a little blended into my skin. I'm going to start my makeup look with Makeup Forever Ultra HD Invisible Cover Foundation. And this is shade R230 in Ivory. So I'm just going to use my ring finger to dot this around my under eye area and then sort of sponge it around, like dot it very, very lightly. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I don't really like to use a lot of foundation. I don't do a full face very often at all. I just feel like it looks really, really, really unnatural on me, and I don't like how it makes my skin look. And a bunch of people have told me that I'm just not doing it right, but I guess I'm pretty comfortable with just doing a little bit. So I put a little bit on my eyelids too because I'm very, very, very fair skinned, and you can see I have some like see-through veins in my eyes. Now I have some redness on my nose area, and that's just a persistent problem for me, and I don't want to look like I have a cold or something, so I put a little bit of foundation on the back of my hand, and I use the Luxie Rose Gold Duo Fiber brush to just sort of stipple it and get a little bit of product on the tiny little fibers on the ends. And then I kind of just stipple it around my nose a little bit for even coverage and make downward strokes. Now this is just being applied very, very lightly so I can just blend it into my normal skin tone. Now I am also human and have a big red pimple under my nostril, so I'm going to color correct that area with a Maybelline Cover Stick Corrector Concealer in green, and this will counteract any red. The way this works is, you know, pretty much if you envision a color wheel that you learn when you're a child, red is the opposite of green, so it's going to cancel it out. So I just dot this on a little bit where I need it in any red areas, so that blemish and around my nostril creases, and then I sort of just, you know, blend it into the skin a bit, and you can see instantly the redness is much, much less severe. I know it may seem weird to put green concealer on yourself, but really once you see how well it works, you don't want to try just caking on foundation or concealer over stuff anymore. This is definitely the way to go. So then I just cover that little bit of green, which you can even barely see, with some of that foundation. And that's really it for my face makeup. So now we itch our wig hairline. And next up is brows. I do brows first. I know that a lot of people just do full eye looks first. Eyes, eyebrows, eyeshadow, mascara, the whole nine, before doing their foundation and stuff, but I've always done it this way, and it seems to work. So, I usually use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Beauty Express palette, but the one that I have is in brunette, and this wig is black and gray, so I'm just going to steal the brush from this kit and go over to my Tartist Pro eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to use the shade Punk because that's kind of a really dark charcoal black. So I tend to start on my left side, and I'm just going to, fix any unruly hairs with my fingers. Some people use a brush or a comb, and I'm just going to fill in the arch here, and then go out to the end. And I'm going to work my way back to the beginning of the brow, filling along as I go. At the beginning of the brow, I like to sort of pull the hairs the other way because I like the beginning of the brow hairs to stand straight up. I see a lot of eyebrow tutorials that are like, put a line on the top and a line on the bottom, and it makes that really nice gradient effect. But I don't think I can really pull that off. I have pretty coarse hairs on my eyebrows, so I can't just make this illusionary effect, I guess, unless I were to completely shave them off or something, but I'm not about to be doing that. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and as most ladies know, or anyone who applies makeup, it seems like there's one side always that likes to cooperate, and the other side just doesn't. And for me, that's my right eyebrow. They just never end up looking the same. So here I'm just checking bumpiness in the back of my wig because I have those braids tucked in there. And again, I'm just standing those little hairs up on the end of the brow. And brows are done. So next up is contour, and this is the Maybelline Master Contour Stick in light. So this is a double-sided stick. I'm just going to use the dark side for this. I put the stick up way too high, so it was touching the cap and got sort of smushed. So we're just going to glide on a line, and I really, really love this contour stick. I've contoured with powders and stuff before, and I don't quite like it. This has much more precision. So we're going to contour under the cheekbones, and I have a really, really weak chin and weak jaw, so I'm going to contour my jawline and contour my nose a bit. And then I was a little wary about doing this part, the forehead contour, because I've never done this while wearing a wig, but it did end up working out okay. So now I'm going to take that same Luxie tapered, the Luxie Rose Gold Duo Fiber brush, and I sort of just smush it around in circles and blend. I feel like sometimes I go too far towards my mouth and have to kind of pull it back, and I just wipe it away with my hand. So I'm just gonna blend out the jawline contour. Do not forget to do this. You'd look pretty silly if you forgot to blend out any of your contour. And I'm just gonna blend out the forehead contour. And the nose contour, I'm just making really, really soft strokes until that's nice and blended. And that's it for contour. I really love that Luxie Duo Fiber brush. It was a brush I received in an Ipsy bag a little while ago. So now I'm going to take a little flat medium brush, this is just an Eco Tools brush, and my Tarte's Pro palette, and I'm going to decide what I'm going to put on. I really never plan ahead and I kind of just wing it, so we'll see how it goes. I'm using the shade Trendy, and on the palette this shade looks like a pretty metallic turquoise sort of color, but it actually goes on as a bit of like an iridescent smoky brown turquoise, like it has a little bit of a duochrome to it. So I'm just going to cover my whole eyelid, and I have really round, deep set eyes, so I'm also going to go into the crease and up to the brow bone. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. And I sort of just, fudge this around until they're relatively the same shape. just blow on the brushes and just blow out any excess pigments that are in there so that I can use this as a blending tool. So I'm just blending out the color and fixing the shape a bit to make this a much more soft look. And sometimes I just use my fingertip too. I don't know, get anything that it doesn't seem like a brush is doing a good enough job of. I mean, honestly, usually when I do my makeup, I'm really just winging it as far as colors and stuff. When you've made up your own face for so long, then you know what your bone structure is like and what looks good and what doesn't. So I'm going to go back to my Target's Pro palette, and I'm going to take the shade Vamp, which is a dark plum purple, and I'm going to put this in my crease to create some depth. As I said, I have really round, deep set eyes, so I want to accentuate that as much as I can. And I think I'm pretty happy with how the eyeshadow is. This is Urban Decay Perversion liquid eyeliner pen, and it's a felt tip liquid eyeliner pen. I love this stuff. So this is always the hardest part. I start with making a line from the corner of my eye to where the crease would extend to if it extended out that far. I hope that makes sense. So I start with just a line on either side. And then what I like to do is go straight in from the corner of the line, or where the wing corner would be. And I like to pretty much make a straight line across. I've seen many makeup artists do this in like 1, 2, 3 swoops, but I do it in little strokes. So after I have my straight line across, I sort of just lead that into lining my upper lash line. I feel like I'm always shaking the eyeliner pen, because it's like any pen. You know, if you try to write with a pen upside down, the ink is gonna run out, so. And I certainly don't hold my eyeliner pen straight up and down. I'm gonna stop right there on that side because it seems pretty good. And we attempt the right side. These are another thing that never ever comes out even, and we just sort of do our best. And that's it for the liquid eyeliner part. I like to just, quit while I'm ahead before I mess things up too bad. So now I'm going back to my Tarteist Pro palette, and I am going to pick the shade called Drama. And with a smaller, rounder brush, I'm going to apply this to right under my lower lash line. Or right on my lower lash line, rather. And this will just make the eyes pop a bit. So I just apply it mostly to the outside and sort of try to fade it in as I get to the inner corner. And just smudge it out a bit with my finger. And the next thing I'm going to do, and this is sort of out of order, I'm going to take my Luxie tapered highlighter brush, which is loose and makes a nice wiggly tappy sound. I don't currently have like a favorite highlighter, and the two that I use consistently have both crumbled and broken. So I just sort of grabbed this one. This is a vintage highlighter. It's vintage by Jessica Libeskind. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But this is an illuminating face highlighter, and it has a pink tone to it. So, like I said, this sort of crumbled and is all gone. But I'm just kind of trying to gather what I can from it. And I'm just going to lightly sort of feather that over my upper cheekbones out to the temple. Then I'm going to brush it over the tip of my nose and the bridge of my nose. And you want to do this in 2 segments so that they are not one consistent line. You want a break between the tip and the bridge. And then I sort of like to pinch the brush and apply some highlighter over the cleft of my upper lip. this makes your upper lip appear fuller. Now I'm going to take the Maybelline Lasting Drama Waterproof Gel Pencil in Cashmere White, and I'm going to line my waterline with it. And this is another trick to make your eyes look bigger. This can also be done with a light nude shade, but for a more dramatic effect, you just go with full white. So now we're going to apply mascara, and this is Urban Decay Perversion Mascara. This is the creamiest mascara I have ever used. So here I am looking a little like a crazy person with giant bug eyes. I have to get really close to apply mascara the right way. What you want to do is you want to start at the base and sort of wiggle the brush so that you cover all of the lash roots. And this is another one of those things for me that always looks better on one side. And of course I have you know, my right brow always looks wonky, and my right eyeliner always looks wonky, but my right lashes are always better than the left. I don't really ever use falsies. I feel like they are a pain. They're tedious, and I just don't really understand how people use them like daily. Really, that's really great for them though. Like, I could never do it. Luckily, I have pretty long lashes naturally. So I'm not too worried about it. I can just never get this side to look right. See, to me, this looked, it was like spiky in just one or two areas, and the rest just didn't seem to want to fill in. But I think this is, like most things, one of these things that only I'm really gonna notice. Now, I don't always do this, but I'm going to put some mascara on my lower lashes. I tend not to do this usually because I have really long lower lashes, and it always ends up looking sort of spidery. So if it starts to look that way, I just pinch off the end of any mascara that looks too long. But sometimes if done right, this can have a really nice, almost doll-like effect. And somehow I got mascara in my wig, but that's okay. So that's it for mascara. So with this look, I could just stop it there, but I decided to apply some lipstick and complete the look. So this is the Urban Decay Vice lipstick palette. And it comes with a little brush applicator. And because of just the general flow of how this look is going, I decided to go with this dark shade called Blackmail. And I am just clearly not a professional makeup artist on YouTube, so I blocked the view for most of the upper lip area. But I like to really spend a lot of time making sure the shape is good. I want the cleft, you know, the little heart shape in the center of your mouth to match. I don't like to overline it a lot. I know that's very trendy right now, but that's really not my thing, and I think it looks a little silly. So I'm just filling in the bottom lip and really paying attention to the lining of the color and the coverage. Especially with a dark shade like this, it's really important to make sure that you have a good line with your pigment and that you're creating a nice shape. You don't want to go too over or too under the natural shape of your lips. And that's it for lip color and the end of the makeup for this look. I'm going to finish it off with a bow headband. I love bows. I think they're just so cute and they're just the sweetest accessory. So this is my black to gray gradient trendy look. I usually stick with pretty natural makeup and earth tones and such, but so this was a fun change. And of course, you have to admire yourself when you're done. Thank you all so much for watching my first makeup application. I hope it was nice and tingly. I'll see you guys